What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Steven here, and so I was scrolling through Facebook today and I found this interesting post that I thought I would share with you guys. I feel like myself and everyone else who are watching would relate to this post, and so I will link it right here for you guys. It caught me by surprise, but also I was excited to see this post because I know the experience I had when I first started in the credit card journey. And remember, when I was 19, I had no idea what credit cards are. I was afraid of them, and of course, I really didn't get into credit cards until when I was 20, and that really changed everything. And I think the biggest perspective that people have is that you can get into credit card debt really easily, and I believe that if you don't really use the tool correctly, and if you really abuse it, you can lose everything. And when it comes to these credit card companies, they don't mess around. And if you ask someone who you know, your friends or family who been in that situation, you know getting into credit card debt isn't fun, and charging 25% on a credit card is ridiculous. And to everyone out there, don't ever keep a balance on your credit card. I know how easy it is when you have a 0% APR for 18 months or 0% APR for the first year. If it's after the introductory rate, don't do it. Don't do it, because credit cards get you in that introductory rate, and they know and they expect you and they want you to have a balance after that. So that's how they make their money, and that's why they're so successful. So if you're new to the credit card game and this is your first or second credit card, I highly recommend you go with one of these top 5 credit cards that I recommend. These are credit cards I think that are really good for a foundation, and they're something that you should get into anyways, just because they have really good rewards. So I have 5 credit cards that I recommend you guys get. And these credit cards by no means the best credit cards out there, because there's literally hundreds of different offers at this moment. But I feel like these are the 5 cards that I recommend to start with. They're easy to redeem, and of course they're easy to use, just because you don't have to think twice about using them. So with that being said, the first recommendation that I have for you guys is the Discover It Secured credit card. Now, reason why I chose this credit card is that it gives you 2% cash back on your spending when you use this secured card. So most of the time, these credit cards are good for people who are just getting started in their credit card game and they don't have any history at all. So what's cool about this credit card is that it doesn't charge you any annual fee, and it gives you an incentive to use this card. So unlike other secured credit cards, this card actually gives you cash back. Just remember that these credit cards are supposed to help you build a credit, not actually charge you, a ridiculous annual fee to have the credit card. And the biggest reason why I actually chose the secured card from Discover is the 2% category. And to this day, these 2 categories are probably still the 2 categories that I spend the most money on. So I feel like this card will be beneficial not only for students, but also for people who are just starting in their credit card game. So the next credit card that I highly recommend you guys get is the Discover It credit card. This card is not secured, unlike the first one that I recommended. This card is simple, unsecured Discover It credit card. So what's cool about this credit card is that it gives you 5% cash back in certain categories of your choice. So unlike the other 5% categories that you guys see on any other cards, this 5% category allows you to choose your own 5% categories, and also allows you to maximize these categories of your liking. You're not really locked into that category once you choose that, just because I know some other credit card companies out there like to kind of give you the category and they lock in that category for you, and I really don't like that. So I know it's a struggle for me, just because sometimes my categories changes every single month. I don't like to be locked into a certain category to use that for 3 months and then not maximize the cash back in that category. So the third credit card that I recommend you guys have is the Citi Double Cash. And the Citi Double Cash is an interesting card. I really love this one because it's an all-round credit card. There's no annual fee, and of course there's no categories, and it's all around 2% cash back. So you don't have to worry about choosing the right categories, you know you're always getting the 2% cash back at anything you do with the card. So whether you're doing the online shopping, restaurants, groceries, dining out, it's always going to get that 2% cash back, which I feel like it's the understatement. It's the underdog of all credit cards. You know you don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to have to think about the categories with this one. The fourth credit card that I recommend you guys have is a well-known credit card with Chase. So this is probably one of the best credit cards to start with Chase, just because it's no annual fee, and this card is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I recommend this card just because Chase has another credit card called Chase Freedom, which gives you the 5% cash back, but you also have to choose the categories, which I am not a fan of, honestly. I'm not a big fan of choosing categories, in my opinion. Like I said, this Chase Freedom Unlimited is 1.5% cash back. There's no cap on how much you can use. There's no categories. So finally, I think this card kind of beats it all in terms of cash back. I do want to say this last cashback credit card is an interesting character just because the amount of work you have to do in order to get this categories. And this card is actually from Bank of America. It's the Bank of America cashback card. And what's cool about this credit card is it's just like any other cashback. You get the 3% categories in a certain area. You get the 2% categories in groceries and whole clubs. And then of course the 1% cashback in everything else. And what's cool about this credit card is that it does the job, right? It does the job in terms of getting the cash back. But if you are a preferred member with Bank of America, you can actually get more than 2% cash back or even 3% cash back. So the reason it's tiered is because of the amount of money you have with Bank of America. So the tiers starts with $20,000. It can go all the way up to $100,000 depending on which category you are in, and of course the dollar amount you have with Bank of America. They want you to have more money with them, so they have more perks for you. So in order to get the 5.25% cash back, you have to have $100,000 with Bank of America. And knowing that you have $100,000 within Bank of America to get 5% cash back, or in this case 5.25 cash back, it's just not worth it. And in my opinion, if you're gonna have $100,000, you might as well get more than extra 2% cash back in your credit card statement. For the extra 2%, having $100,000 in your bank account earning essentially 0.03% is not worth your dollars in the bank account. And I know that sounds crazy, having $100,000 in your bank account to get an extra 3% or 2% cash back on your credit cards. That's just absurd in my opinion. I hope you guys like this video, and of course let me know what your first credit card. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up and comment down below what credit cards you guys are using.